name is Idalia Baptiste. I went to Esperanza Academy, and I attend Lawrence Academy now. I chose Lawrence Academy personally because a lot of the schools you have to weigh them out, and there's a lot of things you take in when you're applying to these schools. And one of the things I wanted was a perfect balance between sports and education. And a lot of schools had that. Some were stronger in other category, but when I stepped on campus here, I stepped on the fields, and there were some kids on the fields by themselves practicing, and that was kind of dedication that I found. I found like a surrounding. I could feel comfort in that kind of like success. They want to push themselves like that. And then in terms of education, I sat in on a class when I went into my revisit day, and the way the class was set was some of the students called the teachers by their first name, or some called them by the last name, so they were comfortable with their teachers. But a lot of times, when it was time to get down to work, everyone was focused into their work. They had their work and dedication in there too, as long as sports. And so I was like, I could check those two boxes off. And I wanted to go boarding, so my first priority was a boarding school. And once I stepped into like advisories and circles, and there's something called peer counseling, and so they'll have a sophomore, junior, senior counselor, freshman. And once I stepped into those circles too, it was inviting. Like, you're normally, freshmen kind of just like, okay, they're new meat, they're fresh, so so you don't take them as. But these peer circles, like, they allowed the freshmen to like connect with seniors who are leaving, and juniors who were there before. Cooler.
That sounds
and
great.
So the community was welcoming to me, and I was like, this is the school I want to go to. Even before applying, one of the Esperanza graduates, beginning of 7th grade, when I wasn't thinking about high school, she's like, look at this school because I think you can go. And I took it like, okay, fine. And so I looked into it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I loved it. I was on the website every day. I planned out what sports I'm going to take, type of credits, what classes I'm going to add and drop. Planned everything out. It was my dream school.
Great.
So the head of high school admissions, Mr. Lynch, walked up to us one day, and he gave about 6 girls an application. He was like, here's a program. Only a certain amount of you are going to get in. And that was that. And so I was looking at it, and some kids were going to sports programs, and some were going to less strictly academic programs. And when I looked at Pep at Pingree, I've heard feedback from like past graduates who said, oh, this is a good program, you learn a lot, you have fun a lot. And I was like, all right. And I kind of took their word on it, but I was a little skeptical. So then I talked to Mr. Lynch one day in the office, and he had Cookie, which we call her Cookie from camp, but she came in, and her friend had attended Pep at Pingree, and she came back this summer, totally different. Like, she went into high school with a clear head. She was like, I'm ready for this. She said that Pep at Pingree was inviting. You'd go out in the hot days, and you'd play with everyone. Everyone would be outside playing. And in terms of academics, you get a jump on, your future, and you'd get a jump on what you're going to learn next year. And when she said that, I was like, oh my gosh. At first, it was about education, like, I want to do something with my life, so I have to work hard too in the summers. That's what it is. So the first week I was working hard, and then people just kind of broke down the walls, and I was able to have fun. I played with Jason a lot, and during volleyball, and I played with Anna. She was another one. We always played tennis too, like, but not actually on the tennis court.
Right.
And so once I didn't even realize that I was like welcoming these people. It was kind of just like you were put in this situation, and you just warmed up, and at the end of the summer you're like, I don't want to leave. And so a lot of us were crying, and we're just like, I don't want to go, this is my last year. And that's when I knew it was just like this program just changed. In terms of education, I remember coming in, I was 7th grade year, and I was about to go into 8th grade, and I was like, all right, fine, this is what we're going to do. We're going to work hard during the summer. This is going to help me. And I go in and I am sit in math class. I remember that was the first class that actually, like, you know, taught me something. I was surprised because I thought a lot of this stuff was going to be review. So I go in and I sit, and she goes over a little bit of review to see where we are, and once everyone was caught up, our teacher jumps into radicals. I was like, this is new. And so I learned radicals, and by the time I was in 8th grade, I went into class already knowing radicals. Like, this is what it is. And that helped me feel prepared in sense of education. But in terms of socially, I was really just focused on education. So I wasn't focused on, you know, anyone else. It was kind of just like education means work. Teachers help you with college. College leads on to career, you know, just those steps. And so I wasn't really focused on making friends or having all these fun. Playing sports was more about, this is another way to help you get into school, not this is a way to build a team. And so when I was at Pepper Pingree and I was playing on the volleyball, I realized, like, I didn't have to play. Like, they're not going to specifically ask me, did I play sports during the summer? So when I played volleyball, it was just like, I'm playing this to have fun, to feel connected to people. And when I was with Cozy or Eric and I was talking to them, it was like no one's forcing me to sit and talk to these seniors about having fun, about, you know, random things like memes. I enjoy just talking to it. And so at the end of Pep at Pingree, obviously from an education point of view, I learned, but socially I grew as a person.
Great.
So it was lunchtime, and we were all sitting around in the booth, and there's like 12 of us because we made so many friends from different places. And it's funny because the topic we were talking about was, we call it air drink, and people in Beverly call it sky. And I forgot what was the other name. I think it was like waterfall. And we were sitting and we were debating these 3 names over and over again. I was like, it's air drink. And then I butted out of the conversation. And I was just watching everyone argue about which one of the 3 names it is. And then Cozy comes over and she goes, it's sky. Then Eric comes over and he goes, it's waterfall. And then I'm just like, pick one and be done. And it's later towards lunch the same day, and we're leaving. And Kiara's upset. Kiara from Esperanto, she's a little upset, so she's kind of crying. She's like, oh my god, this is one of the last lunches we have, and we're arguing about whether or not this name is this and this and this. And I'm sitting there like, it's okay, you're going to see me. And she's like, no, I'm not. I'm just going to see that one over there, because Jolyn and Berenice were joining her. And so Eric's like, you know what's going to make you feel better? And so he takes his phone, and he takes all 11 of us. It's me, Dayali, Berenice, my sister, Bowie, Jolyn, just a whole group of people. And he goes, here, let's take a picture. And so he pulls out the camera, and we get up against the corner just randomly while everyone's moving around us trying to get outside, and we take a picture. And then Cozy comes over. She's like, let me join. And she takes a picture. And then Savis comes over. He's like, you can't take a picture without me. And he comes in, and then Jason turns around. He's like, nah, I gotta be in it. And we're taking this big picture, and I'm thinking to the beginning of the program, I was like, I'm just gonna talk to Dayali, maybe Jolyn and Berenice, maybe Dayali, but I'm sticking to there. And at the end of the program, when we have that picture, I still have it on my phone now, I just felt that comfort. And now it's like, I talk to Cozy and Eric, I still talk to Dayali, I talked to Kiara yesterday. It's like, it kind of hit me like they aren't leaving. So I tell them 2 things. One being, if you don't want to come to the summer to learn, then it automatically just wipes out Pep Pingree, because you're learning there too. It's not just all about having fun. It's getting you ready for the next year. So you have to go into the program wanting to learn, wanting to have a new experience. And 2, if you think you're just going to sit in the corner of the bus or the corner of the class or the corner at lunch table all by yourself, then it's not going to work out for you, because everyone, even if you don't know the person, everyone's around you. So it's not like you can even be in the corner, because there's no room for just one person in a corner. So you can't be, excluding yourself from people, because they're just, if you are not gonna go up and talk to them, they're just gonna go and talk to you and bug you until you talk to them. And if you need help too, that's one of the things too. Like, Peppa Pinker is one of the places where you get help from. You get help from the teachers. You get support. You build new friendships and new things. So if you're coming in here wanting to experience new friendships, or experience new learning, or experience really anything, then it's a program for you. But if you're not, then don't bother at all.